Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today, we're diving into the AI world again, specifically looking at the really key developments from August 1st, 2025. We've got this daily chronicle, sort of a snapshot of everything happening, which is honestly moving incredibly fast. So our mission today, it's pretty straightforward. We want to pull out what's actually significant, help you figure out what these changes mean for you, and basically give you the quick version. Expect some surprising stuff, maybe a little humor. Let's get started. Okay, first up, the whole balance of power in AI seems to be shifting. This is pretty interesting. In the enterprise LLM space, Anthropic has actually pulled ahead of OpenAI. They're now at 32% market share. OpenAI is down to 25%. So what's going on there? What's driving that change?
Yeah, it's a really notable shift, and it seems to come down to Anthropic's focus. They've really doubled down on safety, reliability, and building tools specifically for enterprise users. Take their Claude Code Analytics dashboard, for example. It lets businesses see how AI is working with their code, which is apparently a big draw.
Okay, that makes sense. Tailored tools matter.
Exactly. And this is happening while enterprise spending on these large language models has basically doubled in just 6 months. We're talking $8.4 billion now. Plus, code generation itself has turned out to be, maybe surprisingly, AI's big breakout use case in business.
Right. The killer app everyone was looking for.
Sort of, yeah.
Hmm.
And here's a key thing. Once a company picks an AI provider, they tend to stick with them. Like 66% just upgrade within the same ecosystem rather than switching.
Wow, that's sticky.
Very. And interestingly, open source LLMs, their usage in enterprises has kind of stalled. It seems businesses are choosing performance and dependability over potentially lower costs.
So reliability trumps open source flexibility for big players right now.
Oh, okay. And speaking of the big players, OpenAI. Obviously, everyone's waiting for GPT-5. Sounds like it's close. People are saying maybe this month, August 2025, and Microsoft's already prepping Copilot for it with a smart mode.
That's the buzz, yeah. Nearing completion.
So what's the promise here? What's GPT-5 supposed to do differently? Well, the list is pretty impressive. Multimodal reasoning, understanding text, images, audio, maybe more, all together. Real-time adaptability, much better safety systems, apparently, a unified model handling all these inputs, longer memory, and, crucially, fewer hallucinations, making things up.
That all sounds like a massive step forward.
It does. But here's the context that gives you pause. Sam Altman himself, OpenAI CEO, has said GPT-5's speed and power actually make him scared.
Scared? That's strong language.
Very. He compared its potential impact to wartime breakthroughs. And maybe most chillingly, warned there are no adults in the room.
Wow. Okay.
So yes, it positions GPT-5 as potentially transformative, but it also screams for, much stronger governance. People are drawing parallels to the Manhattan Project, which tells you the scale of concern.
No adults in the room. That really sticks with you. Definitely highlights the governance challenge. And quickly before we move on, the sources also mentioned other moves, right? Tim Cook saying Apple's open to AI buys.
Yep, that was noted.
And Google launching something called Gemini Deepthink, and Reddit wants to be a search engine.
That's right. Lots of movement across the board. Seems everyone's trying to position themselves.
Okay, let's pivot then. Let's talk about how AI is changing what we see, literally, image generation. There's this new model from Black Forest Labs and Krea, FLUX-TET1 Krea. The big claim is it gets rid of that AI look.
Ah, the uncanny valley problem.
Exactly. No more waxy skin, weird colors, blurry backgrounds. They say human reviewers rate it as good as or even better than the closed source models. And it's OpenAI, works with their existing ecosystem, so more accessible photorealism.
That's the idea. And the implication is pretty huge. If these AI images become truly indistinguishable from photos, well, that ramps up concerns about visual trust, doesn't it? And deepfakes.
Absolutely, which brings us to a perfect, if slightly absurd example. Those AI bunnies on trampolines. Did you see that?
I heard about it, yeah. Went viral on TikTok.
Massively viral, over 180 million views. And it totally fooled people. They thought it was real footage.
Until it got debunked.
Right. And then people felt, genuinely deceived. A crisis of confidence, they called it.
Yeah.
Which is wild for cartoon bunnies.
But it shows the power of realism. What were the giveaways again?
Little things, if you looked hard. Bunnies just vanishing, shapes morphing weirdly, rabbits merging into each other, shadows disappearing, and the motion was just too smooth, apparently.
Unnatural physics.
Exactly.
And see, even if it seems harmless, like bouncing bunnies, it erodes trust. It shows how easily fake stuff can just blend in with regular entertainment. There's actually some good advice from MIT and Northwestern researchers on spotting fakes. They say look for those anatomical glitches, weird lighting, or shadows that don't make sense.
Physics violations like animals that never get tired.
Right. Or unnatural textures. It just highlights that we all need to be more critical consumers of video now.
Definitely a new skill set required. Okay. From potentially fake bunnies to something incredibly real and hopefully positive on a huge scale. Google DeepMind's AlphaEarth. They're calling it a virtual satellite. Basically an AI model building a real-time digital twin of the entire planet.
A digital twin of Earth. How?
By pulling together tons of data, optical, radar, climate info, LiDAR, which is like laser mapping.
Okay, so multi-source data fusion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it crunches it all down into these detailed 10 by 10 meter embeddings. Think of them as like super compressed, meaningful maps.
And efficient too, right?
Hugely efficient. They're saying 24% better accuracy than older methods, but using 16 times less storage space. That's kind of mind-blowing for planetary data.
That is impressive. And the applications, well, this is where it gets really impactful. It's already plugged into Google Earth AI and Earth Engine. Over 50 partners, like the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, are using it for really critical stuff.
Like what?
Flood warnings, tracking wildfires in near real time, mapping ecosystems to see changes, monitoring urban sprawl, loads of things.
So it's moving beyond just static satellite images.
Precisely.
Right.
It's a leap towards scalable environmental intelligence. Think climate change preparedness, conservation efforts, planning infrastructure, all informed by this constantly updating planet-wide view. It's a really positive application, I think.
Yeah, definitely a powerful tool for understanding and maybe managing our world better. All right, so we've seen the models, the visuals. What about the nuts and bolts, the infrastructure behind all this AI? OpenAI is making another big move here, Stargate Norway, a massive new data center expansion into Europe.
Stargate Norway sounds ambitious.
It is. We're talking a €1 billion project. The goal? Host 100,000 NVIDIA GPUs by the end of 2026.
100,000 GPUs, wow. And Norway, why there?
Primarily for power and cooling, it seems. It'll run entirely on renewable hydropower.
Ah, clean energy, that's smart.
Yeah, and the location near Narvik has a cool climate, obviously helpful for keeping all those GPUs from overheating.
Makes sense, less energy needed for cooling itself.
And get this, they're planning to redirect the waste heat from the computers to actually help power local businesses.
Oh, that's clever. Closing the loop, sort of. Who's funding it? It's a partnership. Norwegian industrial company Aker and an infrastructure firm called Nescale are putting in the first €1 billion, splitting ownership 50-50 with OpenAI.
So significant local buy-in.
Definitely. And strategically, this is huge for Europe. It boosts their own AI infrastructure, less reliance on US or Chinese data centers. It strengthens regional innovation, and it makes Norway the first European partner in this new OpenAI for Countries initiative.
Right, building AI sovereignty. That seems increasingly important. Okay, infrastructure is key. What about using AI responsibly? Ethics, adoption, governance. You mentioned Europe is getting ready for the AI Act enforcement.
That's right. Compliance is becoming a big focus. Companies operating there really need to get their ducks in a row.
And IBM is working on AI that can second-guess itself.
Yeah.
Metacognition.
Yeah, AI metacognition. The idea is to build systems that can sort of reflect on their own outputs, assess their confidence, maybe flag uncertainty. It's really important for reliability, especially if you're using AI in high-stakes areas like healthcare decisions or financial modeling. You want the AI to know when it doesn't know, basically.
That seems crucial for building trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it connects to these broader ethical discussions, like how journalists are now grappling with AI bias, not just as an error, but almost as an inherent feature they need to account for. The Reuters Institute has been looking into that.
A feature, not a bug. Interesting framing. How are developers feeling about all this?
Well, Stack Overflow's latest developer survey shed some light there. It seems developers are, willing to use AI coding tools. They see the potential. But there's also a lot of caution. Concerns about reliability are still there, ethical questions too, and worries about the long-term impact on their jobs, on the profession itself.
Understandable caution, given the pace of change. And speaking of caution and trust, there was that privacy issue with ChatGPT recently.
Yeah, the PC Mag report, finding that some chat conversations ended up indexed by search engines like Google.
Exactly. Which is obviously a major privacy red flag.
Definitely. OpenAI seems to have acted on it quickly, stopped those chats appearing in search results, but it highlights how easily things can go wrong with data privacy when you're dealing with systems this complex and widely used.
Absolutely. A reminder of the constant vigilance needed. So, reflecting on everything today, It's been quite a journey. We've seen market leadership change hands with Anthropic, a huge anticipation around GPT-5.
And a stark warnings from Altman.
Right. Then the whole visual side, incredibly realistic AI images, the bunny debacle showing the trust issues.
Contrasted with something like AlphaEarth, using AI to map the planet for good.
Exactly. And then grounding it all in the massive infrastructure investments like Stargate Norway and the ongoing challenges of ethics, adoption, and privacy. It's a lot happening all at once.
It really is. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Considering everything we've discussed, especially how AI content is becoming almost impossible to distinguish from reality, and the warnings from AI leaders themselves, what does this incredibly rapid change mean for, our collective grip on reality, our trust in information? If something as simple as AI bunnies bouncing can cause a crisis of confidence, what kind of critical thinking skills do we need to develop now? How do we navigate a world where AI is just everywhere, from business tools to mapping the planet to our daily entertainment? It's a big question, I think.
A very big question indeed. It's definitely something for all of us to think about as we navigate this future. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really encourage you to keep digging into these topics. They're only going to become more important. Until next time.